Hello and welcome back to Circles Wellness, where we talk about mind, body, and soul. Today I am your guest. I am your guest. Circles Wellness by Rikeino Bent. Hello and welcome to Circles Wellness Podcast, your number one show for mind, body, and soul. I am your host, Rikeino Bent, aka Ricky Bent. Today we'll be talking about striking a balance in mindful connections and also finding a balance with social media. And today I have a clinical psychologist. Yes, Dr. Babalola Olajibu is here in the studio with me, and I will be asking him some questions, and he's going to be giving you some supreme answers from the psychological point of view. And now we're going to start with the mental health and relationship. Whether it's with friends, family, or romantic partners, our relationships can significantly influence our mental health well-being. Yes, that is true. Healthy connections provide us with support, understanding, and a sense of belonging. But what does it mean to truly support one another? So I want the doctor to tell me what you think. How do you think we can support somebody in mental health challenges?
Well, when it comes to mental health, most of the time, people don't really like talking about their struggles, and you need to really. So I'm going to be answering this question from two angles. So from the aspect of a therapist and from the aspect of just being a friend to somebody. So most of the time, for you to provide support for somebody, you must be available. You must be available in the sense that you show that you are not going to be judgmental. Most of the times when people try to communicate their feelings to us, they try to ask us some very tricky questions. I have a friend, my friend is going through this and that. What do you think about it? The moment you are judgmental about it, the next line of action is that person will not want to talk to you again. So most times when I hear people telling me, I have a friend, and immediately I hear people say, I have a friend, the next thing that comes to my mind is, you don't have a friend.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
So just shoot. And when they talk, I will try to maintain that, you can tell your friend this, you can tell your friend that, and all those things. So once they understand that, yes, I can trust this person is not judgmental, they are more they'll be more open to open up to you. Then you talk to them, and one way or the other, everything will be fine. Now, from the point of the therapist now, is that we try to make sure that we have that space. For example, when people are going through some issues or the other, you call me, I want to speak with a therapist. I'm not going to just shoot at you and say, before you speak to me, my session is 45 minutes, 20,000 naira. I'm not going to say that. I'll just say, okay, what's the problem? Tell me the problem. So they just keep talking. I listen to them. Give them that space for them to talk. Sometimes I'll call it ranting. They just want to rant. Then at the end of the day, I'll ask them, are you done talking? Yes, I'm done talking. Do you want me to provide the solution, or you just wanted me to listen? I want you to provide the solution. Then we'll start talking from there. But the most important thing is the listening here. So once you have a listening here, people will be more likely to tell you how they are feeling, and you will have a means to support them.
Oh, absolutely right. I do agree with you, because a lot of times people are scared to open up, and so they tend to talk in third persons. That's actually a good one. Okay, so we're going to go to the next segment, where I'm going to be talking about, which is actually one of the most important things people are dealing with, discussing on how we can actively support each other in the systems where, maybe it's a complicated relationship and they can't really open up. And Doctor really addressed that issue with us. But now this is something that is plaguing our youth and our generation today: social media and mental health. I know personally how sometimes I wake up and say, maybe I'm just scrolling through Instagram stories, and I see people that are doing so well, dressed well, and I know it's just a filter, but I feel under pressure, and then I start to have anxiety. So it took me a while to realize that Instagram doesn't mean everything is actually okay. But not everybody understands that what you see on social media is not really what life is. So if you compare your life with what you see on the media, you will tend to definitely fall into depression. So what do you think we can use to tackle this from your point of view, when people are struggling with the way social media is evidently affecting people psychologically? And there's also when people are trolling. You have cases where, for example, somebody's embarrassing moment is put on social media, and then you are, made fun of, and people never recover from that, because anytime you go on, you search, you see the person's name. How will the youth deal with this? Handling and balancing social media with their lives.
So I would say it's the new normal. That's just it. I see people tell you about, when you go to the street of Instagram, I'm so like, oh, Instagram has a street. Interesting. So, it's the new normal. And there's one thing is that as much as you want to say, it's just for a moment, these things are not real. These are not people. What these people are showing is not who they truly are. But the question sometimes I want to ask you is, when you see them, do you feel what they're doing is achievable or not?
I say it's achievable.
So because you feel it's achievable, that's why you'll be pressured. You are not concerned about whether they are living that life or they are living a fake life. The fact is, if someone can actually dress like this, I'm supposed to be dressing like this. I'm supposed to be balling this way.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be driving this kind of car.
Yes.
It comes to us because, so what it does, that it is a reminder of where, it kind of reminds us of where we think we should be.
Where you aspire to be.
So you start seeing your aspiration. It's like you dream to be something and you have a friend being that thing you dream to be. You start feeling envious of the person. You start feeling jealous of the person. Because, but now, on social media, you see a lot of those people. So it is about thought and perception. So how do you see yourself as a person? Do you feel these are things you could achieve? Do you feel these are things you can't achieve? So if you feel you can achieve these things, then you'll be more stressed and depressed. However, if you feel it's just a matter of time, I'm going to get there, then you are not going to be sad, you're not going to be depressed. You just feel like, I just need to work on it and I'll be at this particular level. So most of this time is about thoughts. They call something in psychology, they call it cognitive behavioral therapy. It's a therapy that works with people's thoughts, how people see things, and how they interpret a particular situation. If you interpret a particular situation in a negative way, the outcome will be negative. But if you interpret it in a positive way, the outcome will be positive. So it's easy to see Tahoma balling on social media, and you feel like, oh, I'm an upcoming skit maker. Eventually I will be like Tahoma one of these days. Eventually I can see someone that will train me to be like Tahoma. Then that's the positive outcome, is you want to do better. But when you see Tahoma, oh my God, when am I going to get here? Look at 15 million followers. Oh, I'm just 20,000 followers. How will I make this? How will I achieve this? Oh, these people, they are just doing all manner of things just to get people to follow them. Oh, I can't. The moment you start thinking that way, then the outcome too will be negative. And that's that for that. But when it comes to the trolling, you need to understand that what people don't understand is when you are with a toxic friend that always victimizes you, abuses you, what do you do? What will you do when you're with that friend?
You detach. You detach from them.
The thing is, people always go to the same page where they are being trolled, where they are being abused, where they are being bullied. They still keep going to it, all in the name of trying to get pause of like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and they just want to be there. Let me know what is happening. And some people always just want to talk. Oh, you see everything you comment on. Of course, once you comment, there are people that will also
give you back
the comment. But it still boils down to, how do you take this comment?
Yes.
Is it going to be something you want to take to heart? You should know that it's just a social media thing. If you see it that way, then you are not likely going to be depressed or sad.
Yes.
It's not a big deal. It's just saying it's just being foolish. It's like somebody who is very beautiful. I say, look at this ugly moron. What is ugly about you?
Exactly.
So if you accept that you are a ugly moron, that means you see yourself as being ugly.
Yes.
If you never saw yourself as being ugly in the first instance, then you will not even feel. It's just like calling a rich man poor.
Yeah, exactly.
You
that was not face.
That's but when it comes to things where maybe, for example, people's nude, people's what they've said in the past are being put up again, that's a different thing. So it's more serious because it is something that is embarrassing. You felt that you shouldn't have done that, or you felt this is your maybe an intimate moment or something that's already giving you some good feelings, and you are seeing it up online again. You just need to get to that point where you understand that this was me before, this is not me again, and there's nothing I can really do to solve this problem. I used to tell people it's called a serenity prayer. I said, God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are some things we can't change. There are some things we can change. Let's learn to differentiate it and accept what we can change and what we can change.
Absolutely, Dr. Babalola. That is so beautiful because personally, this struggle it is actually plaguing this generation now. I thank you so much for that. And with that, people, we've come to an end, but this was such an interesting segment for me because I personally, struggled with this, and, having you hear that it's just about self-awareness, knowing who you are, and then perspective, like you said. So people, to cap up, we've spoken about handling these issues, and I hope you join us next time. But before I go, I want to hear an advice from Dr. Babalola Olajubu today that he's going to give everybody a tip for the week, so you can have this at the back of your mind. What would you want to give as an advice and as an ending quote before we end this episode to young people out there that are struggling with, the issues we discussed? What would you give as an advice for them to keep their head up?
And the first thing I would say is, in everything you do, try to be selfish. Like, I wouldn't even close my mouth on that. You need to be selfish. I feel a lot of people are not selfish enough. They just consider what people might say, what people might think about them. Sometimes think about how you feel about some of these things. Just think about it. Consider yourself first. In everything you do, you are the priority. Mm-hmm. Every other person comes second. Mm-hmm. So I want you to just let that be in your mind. I am the priority. Every other person comes second. And if you can do that, I feel you will be in a very good space. So even when you're on Instagram, you're seeing some of these things. I am the priority. I am the big game. But every other person comes after me. Then, even while other people are doing anything on Instagram, mm-hmm. you just feel, I'm going to get there. Mm-hmm. I'm the priority. I'm the big game. People are trolling you. Well, that was me. Yes. That was my news.
I am the priority. I am the big game. Thank you so much for joining us on this Circles Wellness. Hope we're going to be having more of you on the show. And now with that, it's a wrap, people. And I hope that you got something. I am the priority. Remember that today. So that's the end of our episode today. I am your host, Rikeino Bent, aka Rike Bent. Circles Wellness, giving you mind, body, and soul.